Welcome back to AM Northwest. It has been a long, hot summer. And if your lawn has been hit hard, our next guest is here to help. We welcome back OSU Extension Service urban horticulturist, Weston Miller. Good to see you, Weston.
Thanks, Helen, for having me.
Oh my gosh, we are looking at some ugly looking lawns out there, I can tell you that.
That's true, and now the Labor Day weekend into about mid-September would be an ideal time to try to renovate lawns to get them looking good again.
Right.
And especially if you haven't been watering this summer, the first step would be to water your lawn really well. And you would do that so that you can then get in here and pop out weeds. So dandelions, dock, and other deep-rooted weeds. If you have just a handful of these, you can pop them out with a dandelion puller like this.
Right.
I did about 4 or 5 yesterday. Some of them not so well, but ideally you want to try to get all the root out.
Are you telling me that you, the urban horticulturist, have weeds in your lawn?
I have a lot of weeds in my lawn, Helen.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You're just like everybody else.
Yeah, so removing the weeds either by hand or using herbicides could also work if you feel like you have a lot of weeds.
Right. Can I ask you this question?
Sure.
So we have a couple stains in our lawn caused by dogs.
Yes.
How do you get rid of those? Basically,
they'll
is it
go away
starting
on their own.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, the grass isn't dead at all. It just has been burned. The tissue has been burned, and the grass is alive at the roots and will come in from underneath. So
okay,
it'll
so just
go
give
away.
it time.
Give it time.
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. All right.
All right, so now after the weeds are removed, the next step is to do dethatching, and we have
dethatching.
We have a picture of this. Dethatching machines can be rented at landscape materials yards or home supply places. And the idea is that we're trying to scalp the ground and basically remove all of the grass. It's still alive at the roots. With all that material, you'd want to then get in there with a hard rake, basically, and pull all that stuff out and put it into your green bin or compost it on your site. So that's exposing the soil.
Right.
Then the next step is to use lawn seed and to use a lot of it.
So are you basically starting all over?
No, you're not starting all over because you're not rototilling the ground, but you're scalping the ground with all the grass and exposing the soil.
Okay.
So that when you put the seed down, you get really good seed to soil contact. That's the most important thing about renovation. For spreading the seed around, highly recommended that you use a spreader like this that will lay it out evenly across the lawn. It's generally recommended.
What happens if you don't lay it out evenly? Do you have just
well, then you'll have spotty germination. The idea is you want an even stand across the whole lawn. With the seed spreader, it's recommended that you use about half the amount you need for the surface area you're working with going in one direction, and then use the other half going at a 90-degree angle. So you're really trying to go
back over the same area.
Yeah, going over the same area twice. You're going for thorough coverage. And the thing is, like, grass seed is relatively cheap, and you want to err on the side of overseeding so that you get a really good stand.
That makes sense. Okay.
Then the next step after seeding is to apply fertilizer, and the fertilizer would also be put in your spreader like this and put throughout the lawn. And then in order to get it to germinate, you're going to want to follow up then with watering.
With more watering.
With watering. And ideally, after you seed, you're going to want to water multiple times per day until the seeds germinate. And then after that, as we go into the fall, you basically are tapering off the watering as we go on, but overall shooting for about 1 inch of water per week, spread out over 3 or 4 increments, so that the grass is getting plenty of water going into the fall, and the better the stand you have going into the wintertime, the better it's going to look next year.
Oh, what are some challenges you're seeing people face with right now, in addition to lawns?
Oh, well, I'd just say drought stress is everywhere. So in landscape areas, a lot of trees and shrubs, if they haven't been watered this year, are looking pretty haggard. Most of them are still alive, but they may be losing their leaves a little bit early and things like that. So
did the smoke do any damage to folks?
To landscapes? I would say not really. The smoke really hasn't damaged landscape plants. It just has blurred the sun, and probably worse for us, for humans, because we've been breathing the smoke.
And is there anything we can plant now?
Sure, absolutely. It's a good time of year for planting fall vegetables, so broccoli and lettuces and things like that. And then give it a couple weeks. Fall is a great time to plant landscape plants because they'll become well established going into next season. So yeah, and there's still really good sort of selection of plants at nurseries these days.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Weston, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Helen.
it. If you'd like to find out more, we'll put the information on our website at k2.com. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest after the break. Stick around.